So for community design, there's the extremely legitimate and absolutely important question of how much will you be contributing financially? That's absolutely something we should talk about openly, and some people should pay more than others, and there could be some work trade available, but you can't run a whole place on work trade. Does not work. Some people have to be paying a bunch. So you have to gather a bunch of people who are very successful and for whatever set of reasons have some resources, and perhaps they come to visit for a workshop, and we try and specifically invite people to all of our activities who would make good residents here, or they might be interested in something similar and they would actually like to purchase their own land nearby and create their own community while being massively trained into how to have cultural etiquette and not cause trouble for foreigners in the area. That has been a problem in some areas. There's certain triggering issues that you can easily skip. It's not hard to do. A lot of them just have to be about being polite, but there's some special ones a little bit. And, it's just a new culture if you're moving here. So, hi, honey bunches. You cutums? Yeah, you cutie baby. That dog I always wonder about. I think it's just a dog. Hi, honey. She is extra sweet. But I think she's pretty regular, just dog. Not especially a genius, not a dumbass. I guess she's still pretty young. So yeah, putting a fence around that part out there too would raise the cost, but it would not raise the cost as much as not doing it. And the thing is, I think there should be a fence on this side anyway. So you fence in the whole thing. That's later. First you fence in here. And that's for controlling dogs. Dogs are a pain in the ass. They'll always be a pain in the ass. But we can train them not to be. And we can teach dogs to be guard dogs, but very carefully. I think that's extremely dangerous and should be handled by a professional who teaches the owner as well to have a guard dog. And that owner may well be a ranger here in the forest. Because when I imagine this community, I imagine a wide variety of roles. And most people probably don't. When they think of intentional community, they might think, oh, they have a business or two businesses, and that's mainly what they do. But I want to have a very diverse community in terms of who's involved and how, and define that really, really well. I think that's very important. Because there's so many roles, but one role, these are the two divisions of roles that come to mind. There's others, but and that is people who work remotely and pay a fair amount to live here in one fashion or another. Two businesses that are here, and there will be a fee to live here. No question about it. I've spent my life saving to do it, another 21 years building it, and that's the social culture of it as well, and a lot of experimentation. So I think that has value. If you don't think that, don't come here. This will be an expensive place to come to if it's going to survive, because it has come to the point of total failure without monetary support. And as far as I know, it's the most honest program there is, and I'm honest about what I don't do, and it's very tricky. But this task has never been tried in my knowledge, not this way. I don't know what to call it. I suppose it could have a name. Food forest sculpting, except I don't even like the word food in there. because I really want people not to just think of food for humans, but for food for the entire biosystem, even the mycology, everything. In other words, I want this place to be biologically the most wealthy forest around. And that's because people use composting toilets, we do some rain capture, we plant new plants that are good for the soil, we sculpt it. So maybe it's just called forest sculpture, to sculpt a forest out of whatever genomes would like to be there and part of the human system or animal system, whatever's here natively, which is nothing. They cut down most of this when they did the railroad. But some of it probably is. Some of these are old trees. Yeah. I would love to see pictures from back then, but they don't exist. So, I think designing this with the premise of having people within a forest that benefit the forest itself is absolutely critical to understand. You are a net benefit from the forest itself, even including the transportation of any food that you're buying. And of course, you're growing quite a bit. Anything that grow really well. You know what grows really well? On a controlled burn, there's a plant called whisontle from Mexico, and it is actually friable in eggs, and it grows like amaranth, and so you just harvest the whole head. They're easy to harvest. So when we had a forest fire over there accidentally, it came from across the road. We planted a ton of whisontle because I happened to have collected seeds from the few plants I had, and tons of it grew. And that year, whisontle was actually more expensive than normal, and so we could have sold it, but we didn't because we were busy doing other shit. But this type of experiment with food forest farming is absolutely critical to this project, where we are growing things in very planned ways to collect the best plants in the world, to improve the local economy if we're able to do that. If we can sell plants like figs, for example, if we have like multiple kinds of figs, then we could actually improve the local economy. If we can introduce more olives, I mean, I can think all kinds of stuff. And I just have to figure out like how to do it better. Because some people think you have to have a greenhouse to grow tomatoes here. I believe that to be false, based on personal record. But I have not figured out the magic way to grow whole gardens of tomatoes. Although the first one I saw was growing out of a broken stack of tiles. So it may just have to do with a watered, rich soil underneath a stack of tiles, and boom, up come tomatoes. I have no idea. But every plant is a puzzle. That's the thing to remember. And every one of them wants to be somewhere in your system, in the waste cycle, in how you grow it, at what scale you grow it, how you preserve it. Does it have any commercial value, or is it edible, or is it good for fiber? Well, darkness has ascended, and I don't know how charged my shit is. I should have probably charged it earlier, but I do have a light on me, I think. Oh, I'm gonna fucking fall over. It's dark enough. Alright. Light goes here. Brian goes away. Goodbye. Good luck. Arg.